through these things real quickly, so if you're brand new, you know, we don't drag them out, we're not trying to talk you, you know, I know Carrie said thanks for coming, I'd say, hey, congratulations for coming, because if you came here looking, you know, the back of my card, in fact, I got my card here, a lot of times people, you know, I just like to connect with everyone. I mean, I've been putting this together for just over 5 years, and the car I bought, the Mercedes, it's like a SUV G-Wagon or something. They use them, I guess, in the military or whatever. But we got a 550 SL through Monavie in 125 days, and you get to pick whatever Mercedes you want. Well, when they gave me this Lamborghini, we didn't need 2 sports cars because we got 6 of us in our family. So I mean, you know, we didn't have enough room to put them all in. So I said, hey, can you get us something that's got a little more room? So, but I don't know how much you paid for a car payment in your life, but I thought $1,500 is what they reserved for you to have for a car payment. They paid us that for the last 5 years. So, I mean, if you want something more, I mean, my wife Jean and I, we got excited over $100 a week, and you know, the great thing about the new RVL is that the RVL, we got one of the tubs somewhere. This RVL, it's a meal replacement, so. Doesn't matter if you're skinny, like I was talking to my friend over here, all right? But you know, a lot of skinny people aren't eating. I mean, if they lost a lot of weight, Carrie will tell us that, you know, they don't eat the right nutrition anyways. When I was driving up here, my friend Lee, right? How many pounds did you lose?
64.
64. You know, 64 pounds. The thing I thought was pretty interesting that Lee was saying that of all of his friends that ever lost weight, rarely did he ever see him keep it off. And I'm telling you, all my friends, including my brother and sister-in-law, that lost 70 pounds between the both of them, my wife Gina's sister, and you know, we're not here to like brag on the money. We're just saying that, hey, look, you almost need money nowadays to live. It's up there with oxygen, you know. So I'm not trying to like. I grew up in Wisconsin. If you know any Midwest person living in Wisconsin, you drive Hondas till you die up there. So we're not driving Lamborghinis. I mean, I don't even know how many horsepower is in the doggone thing. I mean, I'm not a car guy. Like when I was driving my car here to Lee, I said, man, you know, I don't even know how to work these buttons. What do you even call those things on the front? Like
The differential buttons.
Yeah, they got the button. If I press one, I'm afraid that thing won't be running. So I don't even. I said, don't press it. I even told them, hey, don't press it. I don't know how to like get it out of it or whatever it is. So all I'm getting is that they just gave it to us. So you know, whatever you want. My brother and sister-in-law lost 70 pounds between the two of them. I never seen them lose weight. Been married to my wife for 24 years, almost 25. I never saw them lose weight, and they're so excited that they lost weight. And because they got Monavie with me, and they were like really nervous to get in because they didn't have any money, just like I didn't. But they said, well, we don't want to be left behind, and they got in. And I took the responsibility for everybody when we get. Like, I'll teach you a couple things tonight. What I would suggest you do when you break out of here, but. It's not that difficult, and I took the responsibility for everybody that I sponsored to kind of like, that's why I'm up here with Jim and Carrie and all the folks here. I mean, I can't do it for you, but if you're willing to do the work, then I'll do it with you. So, point is that I took the responsibility for my brother and sister-in-law. They actually led me to some people that they knew, and I did some of these for them, and they were making $1,000 a week. They hadn't done one thing except for lead me to some people, and I helped their friends make and my brother and sister-in-law, Gina's sister, they were making $1,000 a week, which is more than he was making working for my millionaire brother-in-law. So he said, man, what if I helped a little bit? Maybe I could make even more money. I feel bad that Steve's making me more money than my job. And now they went on to go Blue Diamond, which means they make $500,000 a year. They've made $1 million in Monavie. The other thing is my millionaire brother-in-law, he got in and he made $1 million. So they both, I mean, if you broke or you're a millionaire, get in, you can make, I mean, rich, I mean, if I was you, I'd look for successful people because for some reason, if we were going to start a restaurant together, me and Brian, right, we would go and find a good chef or the best one we can afford. But for some reason in this industry, people look for people that are like needy people. I'm not trying to pick on you, but if you're looking for people that like to succeed or win, this is your own business. It's going to make it, I mean, it's hard to teach somebody how to win if they never won in their life. You're going to wait a long time. It's kind of like a ministry. You're like, you can do it, you can do it. I mean, I'd rather just have somebody get in and say, I'm going to do it.
Amen.
Wouldn't you rather sponsor somebody underneath you?
Yeah.
That's what we did. But I helped my brother-in-law because, and then he got going in the business, and they were able to make enough money in Monavie that they could pay my sister-in-law couldn't hear for the last like 10, 15 years. She was almost deaf, and they were able to buy her a cochlear implant cash because the insurance company wouldn't pay for it, so now she can hear because of Monavie. So I mean, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to hear, whether you want to, you know, I mean, I'm just telling you for real. So like, the hard part, I think the biggest thing, it's almost a good thing for you. Again, I got my cards here. Bill, if you don't mind, just pat. You got them. I'm as close as the phone. I'm here to connect with you. And again, whoever brought you has got their head in the game, meaning that if you're here as a guest, somebody brought you and they are doing what we're doing, so it's a perfect spot to be in. I'm just saying that, hey, at least the two things for my card is you can say, hey, they're giving away free Lamborghinis because they gave me this card, so you can like show them that. The jet is because Monavie has a jet, and if you want to go somewhere, they'll fly you, and it doesn't have to be for a Monavie meeting. I personally, on my trips, have used them for going to go help people on my team, and I usually take groups of people with me. Did you guys? Who's been on the? Lee's been on there with me.
I've been on it. Bill's been on. The Pon's almost been on.
Yeah.
it.
Okay. I didn't have the right idea. Didn't have the right idea. But the back of the card is if somebody says this is the best exciting thing that you got for us is the back of the card tells you what we do, because just the reason why I'm bringing this up is because nobody knows what we do. I mean, it's exciting, but then it's also negative because when you talk to somebody, they think they're saying no to something they think we're doing, but they don't know what we're doing. I mean, if I could tell you that they're going to give you $1,500 for your car payment for the last 5 years, would you like that?
Yep.
I went on 18 free trips from Monavie. My wife's a flight attendant by trade. She 24 years worked for Delta. They didn't give us one free trip. Now the flight attendant, we were on the flight last night. She's like, "What do you mean they didn't give you a free trip?" She thinks standby is like a free trip. I mean, you know, people just kind of justify like, "Oh, you don't. We have standby." In fact, Gina's even got, because she was there for 24 years, they gave her free flights for life. But you ever go on a plane lately? There's no seats left, and if you get a seat, I have 6 of us in our family, so they're all over the plane. That's exciting. You want to fly on a free trip, and you got to stand there and wonder if you're going to. That's not really a free trip. 18 free trips in 5 years. I mean, so people think if you were going to ask them what we do, the first thing that comes to mind is we're going around selling bottles. Like what was really frustrating, even for Gina last night, is we were flying home last night, and the whole plane was full of was from her flight attendant. Now she's been retired for the last two or three years, and she really didn't work the 2 years before, even though she kept her job. We just kept calling in sick, and she mostly paid the flight attendants cash to work her trip, so she didn't have to, and they were all excited because they got, I mean, she's like, well, you do it for $200 extra a day, how about $300, how about $500? I mean, paid for the trip, but that got her up to when they gave her a package, you got free trips, insurance, and a couple years of pay. So we weren't dumb, but we're smart enough to keep, you know, to get what we can in life, and we're not gonna, anyways, but all these flight attendants were part of her base in Fort Lauderdale, and the frustrating part about it was, whenever I said, they kept asking, and you know, you're still, one of them said, you're still doing Monavie, like they don't even, and then on top of that, they're like, well, you must sell a lot of bottles of juice. And they just could not get past that we sell bottles of juice. And then they're like, well, what do you do all day? Do you got like on the internet selling bottles, and are you on the phone all day? It's like I was telling this to my nephew, who's my assistant, and we're just trying to find a scooter to get on top of my trailer in my bus, so wherever we go, we can take this little, you know, scooter around. But they're all sold out because everybody's buying them because of the gas thing. So I mean, all I'm saying is that it's not what we do. I mean, so then they said, well, you're going to be working. As I left, they're like, you're going to go work hard tomorrow, right? Like, you guys going to be getting up hard and her, like. She actually felt frustrated because she said, man, I feel bad because I tried to talk to them, but they didn't really get what we do. So here she was working on the plane, even me now, I said, don't feel bad, because I was there for the whole flight from Detroit to Fort Lauderdale, and I tried to tell them what we do, they still didn't get it all the way out the door. So, I mean, it's actually an exciting thing for you that, now again, if they choose to want to learn what you do, like I really could sit down with one of them. I wouldn't waste your time right now because they were so far out there. But if one of them really wanted to, or if I was in your spot where I'm at, I would sit down with the people in your cell phone and teach them what I'm going to tell you that we're doing. Because if people say no to Monavie, anyone can say no to Monavie. But really, I brought my wife home from work, replaced her income in 6 weeks. We didn't retire because we were taught, don't just quit, because that's your relatability. You wanna stay, you can't do this full-time, literally. There's nothing to do during the day except to wait for everyone to get off work. Yes, you could talk to somebody on the way to work at lunch, but you could do that with a job. There's no employees. They keep thinking we ship the bottles everywhere. I mean, I went to California this